Imagine you're sitting in a doctor's office, nervously waiting for a minor procedure. The doctor explains you have a cyst, a small, closed sac under your skin, filled with fluid, air, or semi-solid material. Maybe you've seen videos online of cysts being popped, and you've noticed something odd. Sometimes when a cyst is opened, there's a strong, unpleasant odor. But why do some cysts smell so bad? What's really going on beneath the surface of your skin? Today, we're breaking down the science behind stinky cysts in simple, easy to understand terms. Let's start with the basics. A cyst is like a tiny balloon under your skin, filled with stuff your body has walled off. There are many types of cysts, but the ones most famous for their smell are called epidermoid cysts and pilar cysts. These are the ones you often see in those viral pimple-popping videos. They're usually harmless, but they can be a little gross and sometimes a lot smelly. So, what's inside these cysts? Unlike pimples, which are filled with pus, cysts are usually filled with keratin. Keratin is a protein that makes up your skin, hair, and nails. In a cyst, keratin gets trapped and starts to break down. Over time, this creates a thick, cheese-like substance. And here's where things get interesting. As keratin breaks down, it can start to smell. But why? The answer lies in biology and chemistry. Your skin is home to millions of bacteria. Most of them are harmless, and some are even helpful. But when keratin gets trapped inside a cyst, it creates the perfect environment for certain bacteria to thrive. These bacteria feed on the keratin and other dead skin cells, breaking them down even further. As they do this, they produce waste products, some of which are volatile sulfur compounds. If you've ever smelled rotten eggs, you know what sulfur smells like. Now imagine that, but trapped under your skin for weeks, months, or even years. But not all cysts smell the same. Some are barely noticeable, while others can clear a room. The difference comes down to a few key factors: the type of cyst, how long it's been there, and whether it's become infected. If a cyst gets infected, the bacteria inside multiply rapidly, producing even more waste products and making the smell much worse. Infected cysts can also fill with pus, which adds another layer of odor. Think of the smell of an infected wound, but mixed with the scent of decaying protein. Let's contrast this with cysts that don't smell. Sometimes a cyst is filled with clear fluid or just a small amount of keratin. If there aren't many bacteria inside, or if the cyst hasn't been there long, there's not much to break down and not much odor. It's the combination of trapped keratin, bacteria, and time that creates the perfect storm for a stinky cyst. So, the next time you see a cyst being popped and notice the reaction to the smell, you'll know it's not just random. It's a fascinating mix of biology, chemistry, and time all happening just beneath the surface of the skin. But there's more to the story. What happens when a cyst is left untreated? And why do some people seem more prone to smelly cysts than others? Let's dive deeper into the science and explore what makes these little sacs so unpredictable. Now that we understand the basics of why cysts can smell bad, let's explore what happens if a cyst is left untreated and why some people seem to get these odorous cysts more often than others. This is where the science gets even more interesting and a bit more personal. When a cyst is left alone, it can sit quietly under the skin for months or even years. Sometimes it never causes any problems, but in other cases, the cyst can slowly grow as more keratin and dead skin cells accumulate inside. The longer a cyst sits, the more time bacteria have to break down the trapped material. This means the smell can actually get worse over time. Think of it like leftovers in your fridge. The longer they sit, the more they start to smell. The same principle applies to cysts. Except the fridge is your own body. But why do some people get cysts more often than others? Genetics play a big role. If your parents or siblings have had cysts, you're more likely to get them too. Certain skin types are more prone to trapping keratin under the surface, leading to cyst formation. Hormones can also play a part, especially during puberty or times of hormone change, when the skin produces more oil and sheds more cells. This creates more opportunities for cysts to form. Another factor is hygiene, but not in the way you might think. It's not about being dirty, in fact. Overwashing or scrubbing your skin too hard can actually irritate it and make cysts more likely. The real issue is how your skin naturally sheds cells and produces oil. If those processes get out of balance, cysts can form, and if bacteria get trapped inside, the smell can follow. Let's contrast this with people who rarely get cysts. Their skin might shed cells more efficiently, or their bodies might be better at keeping pores clear. They might also have a different mix of bacteria living on their skin. Some bacteria are more likely to produce smelly compounds than others. It's a reminder that everyone's skin is unique, and what works for one person might not work for another. Now, what about treatment? If you have a cyst that smells bad, it's tempting to try to pop it yourself, but doctors strongly advise against this. Popping a cyst at home can push bacteria deeper into the skin, leading to a bigger infection and an even worse smell. Instead, doctors use sterile tools and techniques to remove the cyst safely. They might also prescribe antibiotics if there's an infection. Once the cyst is removed, the smell usually goes away for good. But here's an interesting twist. Sometimes, even after a cyst is removed, the smell can linger for a little while. That's because the odor-causing compounds can stick around in the surrounding tissue. It's like when you cook fish in your kitchen, the smell can linger even after the fish is gone. But don't worry, with proper cleaning and healing, the smell fades away. So, to sum up, the smell of a cyst is a complex mix of biology, chemistry, and time. It's not just about what's inside the cyst, but also about how long it's been there, what kind of bacteria are involved, and how your body responds. Understanding this can help take some of the mystery and maybe even some of the embarrassment out of dealing with cysts.